Good morning and happy Saturday to you. My name is Evan Smith. I'm the pastor at Second Presbyterian Church here in downtown Stanton, and I'm coming to you today for your daily Lenten devotional. Today we're looking at the prodigal son, the parable of the prodigal son from Luke 15. It's a really long story, and so let's just dive on in. Starting at verses 1 through 3, just to set the scene, and then we're going to skip to verse 11 to get to the actual parable itself. Now all the tax collectors and sinners were coming near to listen to him, that being Jesus. And the Pharisees and the scribes were grumbling and saying, "This fellow welcomes sinners and eats with them." Then Jesus said, "There was a man who had 2 sons. The younger of them said to his father, 'Father, give me the share of the property that will belong to me.' So he divided his property between them. A few days later, the younger son gathered all he had and traveled to a distant country, and there he squandered his property in dissolute living. When he had spent everything, a severe famine took place throughout that country, and he began to be in need. So he went and hired himself out to one of the citizens of that country, who sent him to his fields to feed the pigs. He would gladly have filled himself with the pods that the pigs were eating, and no one gave him anything. But when he came to himself, he said, 'How many of my father's hired hands have bread enough to spare, but here I am dying of hunger? I will get up and go to my father, and I will say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Treat me like one of your hired hands.' So he set off and went to his father. But while he was still far off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion. He ran and put his arms around him and kissed him. Then the son said to him, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son.' But the father said to him, or rather the father said to his slaves, 'Quickly, bring out a robe, the best one, and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. And get the fatted calf and kill it and let us eat and celebrate. For this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found.' And they began to celebrate. Now his elder son was in the field. And when he came and approached the house, he heard music and dancing. He called one of the slaves and asked what was going on. And he replied, 'Your brother has come, and your father has killed the fatted calf because he has got him back safe and sound.' Then he became angry and refused to go in. His father came out and began to plead with him, but he answered his father, 'Listen, for all these years I have been working like a slave for you, and I have never disobeyed your command. Yet you have never given me even a young goat so that I might celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours came back, who has devoured your property with prostitutes, you killed the fatted calf for him.' Then the father said to him, 'Son, you are always with me, and all that is mine is yours. But we had to celebrate and rejoice, because this brother of yours was dead and has come to life. He was lost and has been found.'" This is probably one of the more well-known parables, I'd say, in Scripture. And it's a really great one. And the truth is, I'm not going to be able to do it even remote justice without spending 30 minutes on this video today. And I don't know if you want that. Truth be told, if you actually really are interested in this, I'll include a link. I'll try to make sure to include a link, because I did a whole sermon series for a month on just this parable. It is that rich and so deep. So today, maybe this is a little bit more like homework. Take some time if you're able. You can rewatch the video to hear the reading again, or just read it on your own. But think about this parable and think about being the younger son, think about being the older son, and think about being the father. And realize that there are times when we are the younger son, when we're the rebellious one, that we feel like we're in need of God's grace. But if we've been people of faith for some time, we might begin to identify more with the elder son and say, like, you know what, I try to live a good life, I try to do all these things exactly right, and yet what am I getting? You know, what benefit is there in this when there seems to be all this grace for the younger son? But what about me? And maybe as parents, we might even identify with the love of God we see in the Father there. So no matter where we're at, realize that you are dearly loved by God, whether you are most identifying with the younger son, the elder son, or can even see yourself in times in the father. So realize you are dearly loved and that God is always calling and welcoming back his lost children, because the younger son was lost, but there are ways the attitude of the elder son reveals that he was lost as well. And so we rejoice that God is a God of seeking, God is a God who longs for us, and God is a God who always is welcoming us with open arms. I hope you have a great Saturday. I hope if you've enjoyed this devotional, that you'll click the like button, maybe even share it on your own page. Thanks a lot. Have a great day, and goodbye.